The specification for this engine says it takes 4.5 liters of oil, but I'm changing the oil for the third time on this vehicle now, and I've never managed to get more than 4.2 liters. Ford 1 liter EcoBoost mild hybrid engine first entered production in 2019. The main differences with its predecessor are the notorious timing wet belt being replaced with a timing chain, but all pump small wet belt remains. A belt-driven starter generator that helps engine during acceleration and capture energy to store it into the next new component, 48-volt battery. The rest of the changes being done to accommodate the major three ones. This very power plant could be found in Focus, Puma, Fiesta, Transit and Tourneo Courier. In my case, I'm changing the oil in Ford Focus 2023. Necessary tools and consumables: 5 liters of the right oil, oil filter, a jack, axle stands, even I'm not using them for this later on, socket sets or just 13mm spanner, torque wrench, adjustable oil filter pliers. They come in different shapes and models, Torx set or just T30 Torx bit, spirit level, and a broom for this later on as well. Not necessarily dirty pair of gloves, Wonder wipes, plastic drop sheet, funnel, brake cleaner. And now into the actual procedure. In my case, the left tire of the vehicle goes on top of the pavement curb, on top of two offcuts of 2x2s. On the right side of the vehicle go on a jack, so it gives me enough room underneath to work freely. And the engine cover is to be removed first, and here is where we are using T30 Torx bit. Next step is undoing the 13mm sump plug, which is located on the back of the engine towards the rear of the vehicle. And here is where the bucket comes, which I forgot to mention earlier, and it's a must. Holding it with one hand and gingerly releasing the sump plug completely until the engine oil starts running. Next step is the oil filter, which is located on the opposite side of the engine, towards the front of the vehicle. Using the special pliers, we will just undo it slightly and leave it for a second. Now I will tie it by hand only the sump plug back, so I'll be able to move the bucket underneath the oil filter. And this is the most mess in the oil change. That's why spread the plastic drop sheet underneath the engine to prevent any oil going into the ground. Always lubricate the new oil filter seal with a bit of oil to prevent any damages or splittings. After I've done the filter only by hands, as far as I can go, it's a good idea to clean up any old residues using the brake cleaner. Using the torque wrench, tightening the sump plug to 25 Newton meters. Now we're ready to pour the new oil with the help of an old cloth. The funnel on an extra hand, we are pouring 4 liters of oil at first. Now I will run the engine for about 5 minutes. Until the engine is running, I will go underneath the car again to check for all leaks. If you are doing this for the first time, be very careful of the turning parts of the engine because it's running at the moment, like pulleys, belts, etc. In general, we only need to check the sump plug and the oil filter for leaks. Once we're happy is all dry and clean underneath, we're reinstalling the underlay. And there are 3 fixing points. I will show you the 3 fixing points in a minute. 3 of them are on the same principles. Just a little lip goes underneath, like in here. One of the fixing points is on the back of the underlay. And the other 2 are on the front of the underlay, in front of the vehicle. One, 2, 3 fixing points. and then we make sure the engine has not been running for at least half an hour, and this is where the drum, actually the handle of the drum, comes handy, as my spirit level is not long enough to reach the two pivot points. And now with the jack on the right hand side, I'm leveling the car perfectly so I can measure the oil correctly. The specification for this engine says it takes 4.5 liters of oil, but I'm changing the oil for the third time on this vehicle now, and I've never managed to get more than 4.2 liters. That's why I strongly suggest to get the vehicle as level as possible before you check, top it up, and make sure the level of the oil is just a fraction underneath the maximum of the dipstick. Last but not least, we're going inside the vehicle to reset the oil line. It's under settings, and all the procedure is to be done with the buttons on the right hand side of the steering wheel. Job done fantastic. Thank you very much for watching.